Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to TSP TV. Now, I got a little video that I'm gonna play for you in a second. We might even play it a couple of times actually, just so you understand and listen to the message that is being said in here. Now, the little snippet we're going to see is an announcement or what do they call it, like press conference. There we go, I couldn't get the word at the minute. A conference that was taken by the World Health Organization, and one of their representatives was given some advice on how we need to combat this virus and maintain everybody else's safety. And before, we have mentioned in times before on this channel how in order to keep and maintain safety, certain liberties and freedoms need to be removed. The Patriot Act, for one example, taken after the events of 9/11. In order to keep the United States citizens safe, they introduced the unpatriotic Patriot Act, which give government agencies the rights and the authority to spy on each and every citizen under the guise of, the Patriot Act in keeping the nation safe from unforeseen, homegrown terrorist plots. Now, similarly with this coronavirus, that everybody is, if you listen to the mainstream governments, it doesn't matter wherever you happen to live, if you are affected by this, and we're all affected by this, we are all in this together. And even people, I think, that are not of a conspiratory mindset are beginning to think that there's something more at play at this. But the World Health Organization at the moment essentially are the global government, and reason being because they are advising initial governments around the world, the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Europe, Italy, Spain, doesn't matter. All of these international governments are taking their advice from the World Health Organization. These are the people that are providing the data and the statistics and the pie charts and the figures and the graphs and all these things that we're seeing on mainstream news. Then the little, just like the US national debt ticker we watch each and every day is the level of victims do arise, keep going up and up, as it's, we've got to flatten the curve. We need to flatten the curve. We need more drastic measures to flatten the curve. And it seems to me that all they seem to be doing in order to try and stop the spread of this virus is removing more and more civil liberties, freedoms, and constitutional rights. We're not allowed to go out and assemble now in safe, peaceful assembly. We have to maintain social distancing. We have to be 6 meters apart. Groups of more than 5 people are no longer permitted. All things like this. In the United Kingdom now, you're only allowed out 1 hour a day for essential exercise. You can't just go out and have a little wander around, hang out at the mall, stuff like that. You have to have a purpose to go out, and you can't even be going out too far of your neighborhood, either, in order to prevent the spread of this virus. And as I said, it seems to me that that's how they're trying to combat this virus, which is an illness. Depends on how serious or not serious or life-threatening you think it is. Is it real? Isn't it real? It doesn't matter. The fact is that they are removing extremely large amounts of rights and freedoms in order to combat this, rather than actually concentrate on bringing up as a medical response to this virus outbreak that I certainly believe is a smokescreen for something else. What exactly, I don't know. But what it does seem to be that is a little bit evident is the removable of civil liberties and personal freedoms. And each and every week something more gets taken away from us in order, people are still not respecting the flatten the curve campaign. People still don't understand what the fuck stay at home means. This type of stuff. And this is very important. They need as many people as they can stuck in their homes, bored out of their minds, scared out of their wits, watching mainstream media, because this is their mind control. MK Ultra was very, very influential in the early days of television. It was reason it's called television programming is because it programs us to accept and embrace a desired social society that is portrayed through Hollywood TV shows. And unused information is provided for us in order to pattern our train of thought, mold our minds into a desired thought pattern is what they do. And this is what brainwashing, mind control, cult-like behaviors do in order to get people on their train of thought. And this is what is happening. People now are all stuck at home, fearful of what's going on, uncertain of what's going on, don't know if they're going to get another wage packet, don't know if they're going to be able to feed their families and loved ones, not even know if they're going to be able to see their loved ones and families due to social distancing and self-isolation. Stop the curve. What don't you understand about stay the fuck home kind of mentality? But if they're stuck at home and they are plugged in and tuned into the mainstream, and probably while they're watching the mainstream in the background, they're looking at their Twitter feeds, their Facebooks, their Instagrams, and they're seeing lots and lots of people who have succumbed to this brainwashing and mind control and are repeating the narrative. We're seeing now that people are told to snitch. If you snitch on your neighbors, breaking social distancing rewards, you're going to be social distancing protocol, you are going to be rewarded for it. Now snitches get riches, apparently. And snitches get rewards. They're teaching you to rat out your friends and your neighbors if they're not complying and not obeying with what the government is telling you to do. And the governments are being told what to do and how to affect this from the advice of the World Health Organization, who, as I said, at the moment, for want of a better description, are indeed the global governing body, because they are the ones that are advising the governments on how to handle this issue. And we're going to see just now what they are advising next in order to combat this spread of virus. Very, very, very disturbing.
Last week, Dr. Michael Ryan, he's a leader at the World Health Organization, announced that in response to the spread of this virus, authorities may have to enter people's homes and remove family members, presumably by force.
In most parts of the world, due to lockdown, most of the transmission that's actually happening in many countries now is happening in the household, at family level. In some senses, transmission has been taken off the streets and pushed back into family units. Now we need to go and look in families to find those people who may be sick and remove them and isolate them in a safe and dignified manner.
Just so you know, we're coming to your house, seizing your children, and, quote, isolating them in a safe and dignified manner. Last week, Dr. Michael...
So that was the video I wanted to show. Sorry, I did do a little bit of jumping around there. And did you hear that? They want to come to your house and remove people who may be infected and take them somewhere where they can quarantine them in a safe and dignified manner. Now, I want to draw your attention now way back in history to the preceding years to the World War II conflict, 1938 to 1945. But leading up to that event, and what led most of the people into the World War, was during that time, in the lead up in the 30s, in the rise of the National Socialist Party in Germany, they believed, or there were certain people that believed that were in the control of the National Socialist Party, that within Germany, there was a contagion, there was a virus that was a threat and danger to the purity of the German race, and that contagion and contaminant had to be removed from German society in order to maintain the safety and preservation of the pure German bloodline. And what they did then is they give people identification stars that they would wear on their clothing if they were considered to be what the National Socialists believe a contaminant to the German bloodline and the German race. And they also went door to door and rounded up anybody that was of this, what they believed, contamination to the German society, and they took them off to camps in order to remove them and remove the threat to that ideology that the National Socialist Party believed. They wanted to maintain the safety and preservation of the German race, and a threat from outside of the borders was something that they could not tolerate and had to be removed. They had to go door to door to remove these people, and they had nice little camps that they set up for these people that they could keep them in, that were far from safe and dignified. But as I said, guys, sometimes the propaganda is very, very rich and has you believe in the best thing to do is send your folks off to a safe and dignified quarantine center. So let's just play it one more time so you hear it and remember what they're saying.
Ryan, he's a leader at the World Health Organization, announced that in response to the spread of this virus, authorities may have to enter people's homes and remove family members, presumably by force.
In most parts of the world, due to lockdown, most of the transmission that's actually happening in many countries now is happening in the household, at family level. In some senses, transmission has been taken off the streets and pushed back into family units.
Now, what if that was the point and purpose? What if the virus is there and they wanted to put people into their homes, self-quarantined, and then once, the majority of folks are inside, then maybe, this virus will rage within the family household, and maybe if it is exactly as deadly as they're saying, even though the World Health Organization themselves says that COVID-19 has a 98% survival rate, maybe the purpose of getting everybody in their homes would be that that's where they would eventually just die of this disease, perhaps, and not out on the streets. But that's just hypothetical and speculative of what could be a possibility. And as you say, these tyrannical organizations that pretend to be keeping us safe really have hidden tyrannical agendas behind that. Now, if you take the word health out of that, you have the World Organization, remember, and they also have a pretty similar kind of United Nations symbol there in the background. That kind of could signify a global government. This is the spokesman of the global government. Now, as I said, this is where international governments are taking their advice from. This World Health Organization, they're the ones giving the stats and analytics. Sorry, I can get that word out. The analytics to governments in order to help them combat, and they're advising the measures that they should take. So how long is it going to be before your local police department or specially assigned pandemic research outreach workers are introduced to society, and they come around knocking on your doors, mandatory testing, and taking those who test positive away to these safe and dignified quarantine camps?
Now we need to go and look in families to find those people who may be sick and remove them and isolate them in a safe and dignified manner.
Just so you know, we're coming to your house, seizing your children, and, quote, isolating them in a safe and dignified manner.
So that was it, guys. As I said, that was a little interview, little video that was on Fox News. That was a little bit of interest to me. So let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Do you think that that's a good idea? Do you think the World Health Organization need to do a house-to-house search and remove anybody that is contaminated with this virus and take them to quarantine decontamination camps that are safe and dignified? Or do you think that's just a really, really polite and nice way of saying taking people off to death camps? I don't know, guys. Let me know, as I said, what you think below. Thanks for watching this shit video production for TSP TV.